Here are your Court News Ohio top stories in 5 minutes. The Ohio Supreme Court ruled on Wednesday that a Cleveland State University police officer legally searched a suspected drug trafficker's vehicle during a traffic stop in March 2015. The court's decision to overturn both the trial and appellate court came after it cited U.S. Supreme Court cases where the officer had established probable cause to search every part of a vehicle and its contents, specifically when it involved drugs. The defendant claimed the officer didn't have probable cause and his constitutional rights were violated because the traffic stop lasted more than an hour as the officer sought guidance from a supervisor and was unable to obtain a drug-sniffing dog. At any of its annual conferences, members of the Ohio Association of Magistrates are there to learn.
I just always try to find better ways of doing things. I think we can always improve on how we handle what we do in the courtroom.
If anyone can appreciate their unique role in the Ohio judicial system, it's former probate court magistrate and current Ohio Supreme Court Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor.
The world of a magistrate is dynamic. That is a term that fits because it speaks of growth and it speaks of change.
While the Chief Justice praised her peers,
You are in your roles for a very good reason. A judge made a ruling about you and found you knowledgeable about the law and trustworthy in your decision-making.
she also noted things in the works that'll make life easier for the 820 magistrates statewide. But her time on the mic was largely spent sharing concerns that could drastically change Ohio's judicial system.
This proposed constitutional amendment would be a disaster.
She's referring to State Issue 1, which would make drug possession of less than 20 grams, including the lethal opioid fentanyl, a misdemeanor without jail time for first and second time offenders in a 2-year span.
No supervision, no probation, no parole. Literally, get out of jail free. That is what this constitutional amendment will impose.
Like the other legal minds in the room, she recognizes the need for reform and that addiction's an illness that needs treatment. However, drug dependency's repercussions are far different from other chronic diseases.
You don't steal to get your insulin. You don't steal to get your Lipitor. And you don't break into people's homes to get your heart medication.
Especially being African American, I worry about inner cities when you have people walking around in the streets with, large sums of drugs on their possession that don't have any consequence for having that.
Along with using her platform to spread awareness on the issue, the Chief Justice asks the magistrates to do the same.
Please, you need to speak up locally on this potential menace. I need your help in spreading this word. Ohio needs your help in spreading this word.
Once a month, people from the Dayton area gather to talk.
I didn't know how to be selfish.
It's one part inquisitive.
I drink fewer than 3 cups of coffee, tea, or cola a day.
And another part therapeutic.
It was a success to me when my son could live in a group home, really. I mean, I was very, very worried about that.
It is Coffee and Conversation, a program for guardians of adults who can't care for themselves, started 2 years ago by Shawnika Pope, a social worker for the Montgomery County Probate Court.
I was seeing guardians really struggle with their role. They were overwhelmed. Many of them were not only guardians for their loved ones, but they were parents, they were employees, they were wives. And they just seemed burnt out.
During these sessions, the court and these caretakers meet as part of a support group to help each other any way they can, whether it's offering resources or advice.
In what ways can you infuse self-care into your lifestyle?
Providing an outlet for their stress.
There's just no time. I would just have to stop doing paperwork or stop doing something that needs to be done.
Or simply reassuring each other that someone's always in their corner.
It's nice to know that there's other people out there juggling the same things that we are.
It's been a great inspiration and an encouragement for me. I'm now finding myself, since I've been with this program since the beginning, now encouraging other mothers and fathers.
The informative and emotional sessions, most importantly, allow these selfless individuals a moment for themselves by giving them a break from their incredibly busy lives.
It kind of gives them hope, that what they're doing isn't in vain, and there have been tears. There's always a lot of laughter. It's just magic happens there.
And that's a look at Court News Ohio's top stories. Visit courtnewsohio.gov for the latest headlines on Ohio's courts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.